Okay, we're making green juice today. I think I did a video about this before, but it's been quite some time. It's the same recipe, but we're upping the kale and other stuff. So I think there's 7 ingredients in here. We have kale. I basically bought 2 bags of shredded kale or cut up kale already, 1 bag of spinach, and then depending on how big the celery is, 2 to 3, not stalks, but you know, the 2 to 3 bunches of celery, 2 huge cucumbers. You can also use Persian cucumbers. I think at Aldi's they sell it in like a pack, and then you don't even need to cut them up because they'll all fit in here, or whatever juicer you have. And then I have 1 lemon, maybe like an inch or 2 of ginger, 2 apples, and that's about it. I think that's all 7. Let's get started with juicing it. Okay, so I've already juiced one of, I think you can see it here. So this juicer has the area where it takes out all of the, you know, like fibrous ones. And so what I have is a little compost bin. This is a celery stalk that was already starting to rot. And I just dump that in here. And then I have another bowl. Trust me, cleanup is something completely different, but I still love doing this. I have another bowl here that's empty, and then it has a little strainer, because sometimes when you're especially juicing the kale, you have these foamy bits on top that aren't as pleasant to drink. So I do leave a strainer on and then just dump it. So I don't know if I said this already before, but of course all of my vegetables and fruits are already washed and prepped correctly. And my hands are already washed, so no need to worry about all of those things. But we're just gonna continue this process. One note that I do wanna say is if you're new to juicing, and maybe you have a diabetic in your family or something, is to be careful with how much fruits you're juicing. For me, when I do this, I want to focus on the greens because it always helps to have a little bit of extra greens in your diet. I don't focus this, like I don't go on a juicing diet, right? I don't just drink juice for a whole week. I know some people like to do that, but this is something that I like to add on top of my diet already. I start my mornings with it, and so does the rest of my family. So the reason why I say be careful with fruits is because, you know, for example, usually maybe you'll only eat 1 apple, but when you juice it, you could probably put like 7 apples in 1 small 8-ounce jar, and then you just chug it. And if you have somebody who is diabetic, that could really shoot up their sugar levels. And so I tend to stay away from carrots a lot. I have somebody in my family who is diabetic, that's why. But I know some people really enjoy making carrot juices. I think beet juice is another thing. So just be conscious of that, because it could really, like, there's no filter. We're taking out all of the fiber, and I can make a separate video talking about that, but we're taking out all of the fiber. So when they're drinking this, the sugar immediately goes into their bloodstream and it can just shoot it up super quick. So there's no filter of like slowly putting it into their system, because there's nothing stopping it there. So that's my one quick tip. Let's continue juicing all of this. Another quick tip, I know it's running, it's not that loud though, but another quick tip I have when you're juicing is to start with your leafy greens first and have your other water-based vegetables kind of help it through the feed, because sometimes the leaves can get stuck in the juicer, and so like it just happened earlier. And so when they're all kind of piled up, I take something that's a little bit harder and like force it down, something like a cucumber or an apple, or of course your celery, but I find that usually an apple does the job. So just kind of start with this and then keep going. Okay, we are pretty much done. I'm just waiting for the juice to kind of, you know, get out. Let me show you what I'm talking about. And I realize this whole video, like my face is cut off, but whatever, it's not about me. So let me get this closer. This is kind of the little foam that's just sitting at the top. There's not really a lot of juice in it. It's just kind of a distraction. So all I have is kind of a fine mesh strainer, and I'm just scooping it off the top. And there's like barely any juice. Like there's little drips here and there, but I'm putting this into my compost bin, and we're gonna repeat this process. Okay, next up, I have this portion, which is where we start filling up our glass bottles. These bottles I got off of Amazon. They're kind of like the old style milk man jugs, which I really like. I love that it's see-through because color green is one of my favorite colors. It's one of my favorite colors. So with the amount I made, I think I'm gonna be able to fill up maybe 5 of these, but I only have 3 on hand right now, and the other 2 are with other people. So we're just gonna fill up these 3. And sometimes I ladle it on, but I'm going to carefully, and the sound is one of my favorite things to hear. Okay, fill it all the way up to the top. And now you have a cute little jug of juice. So let's continue this process until all 3 of these, and I'll stay quiet so you can kind of hear. There's a little bit of bubbles that I'm gonna let settle. That's why I don't pour it too fast. That way it doesn't get too bubbly, but. Perfect! Aren't they just absolutely adorable? Okay, we're gonna put this one here and save the rest for later. I'm gonna tell you right now, this isn't something that's gonna taste like candy or an all cool recipe that you can't even tell there's vegetables in it, because this you can definitely tell that there's green. It's gonna taste like grass for some of you. Celery has a little bit of this salty flavor. I swear I didn't put any salt in this, but the first time I made this for my family, they were like, what is that? Why did you put salt? And I'm like, no, that's the celery. So the best time to consume these is probably within 2 days, but you know, I kind of space it out with my family, and so we just kind of like make it last until I can make the next batch. But I have been drinking this every single day, and it's not something that I do like for the aesthetics or whatever, but it honestly just makes me feel good. And I saw another video talking about the difference between juicing and smoothies. And I used to not like juicing or juices like this because I was like, oh, it's taking out all the fiber, which means it's taking out the nutrients that you need, but that's like far from the truth, aside from the fact that yes, it does take out the fiber, but it's keeping the nutrients that are in here. And the juicer that I have is cold pressed, so it's not introducing any heat, which means it's not taking away any of the nutrients that are in here. So it has this beautiful green flavor. It has a lot of vitamins in it and all of the necessities that you need to kind of, you know, introduce into your day. So like I said earlier, there's no fiber, which means that energy just comes to you a lot quicker. I like drinking this when I have a little bit of headaches, or if I feel like I just need to wake up in the morning. I don't drink coffee at all. I just drink this, honestly. And yeah, that is my green juice recipe and how to kind of make green juice. So let me know what you think, what other videos you want to see, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.